Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Channel Coins Reaction Zone and another episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies. This is episode 5 of Scooby-Doo. Last episode was called The Frickin' Fracas, which I rated a 6 out of 10, on my current third place on the new Scooby-Doo movies. Especially because comedian I'm not really that familiar with, which is why I rated Ghastly Ghost Town so low. I didn't really like that kind of style of comedy, just didn't really do it for me. But last episode was pretty fun. I liked his little interactions with Shaggy, kind of like his apprentice kind of thing, which I thought was pretty funny. I initially rated it pretty low, but then I pushed it up after thinking about it and editing the video. I added on a addendum to it, bringing it up to my third favorite rated show on the new Scooby-Doo movies, but I still like Wednesday is Missing the most. Definitely a bit of a slog for all these episodes, so just gonna lower the rating overall for me, unfortunately, just because I want more funny moments. But for me, the 43 minutes is just a lot, especially because they add on a bunch of unnecessary mumbo jumbo that raises it. You know, you could easily make these episodes 25 to 30 minutes at the most. You don't need to make them like so huge. Just kind of frustrating for that, especially since they go back to that's why this section of Scooby-Doo got canceled and then come back for 3 years. People didn't really care for it either. That's my thoughts on the last episode, but this one is called Guess Who's Not Coming to Dinner, which was released on October 7th, 1972. Stars Don Knott, not voicing himself, so not like Jonathan Winter's last episode, but as a separate character. There's not really much trivia on this episode. He is not voicing himself, but Don Knotts does appear for 2 episodes of Scooby-Doo, so he will be around again. But people said that this was the one that they liked the most out of those episodes, similar to the Batman one. The Scooby-Doo Affair is the one they liked more than the second Batman episode. So a premise for this one: the kids stop at Moody Manor to ask for directions, but they find Homer Pipsqueak, a detective, on the search for the missing Captain Moody, and they get mistaken for Moody's nieces and nephews. So the gang is heading in the Mystery Machine down a spooky road during a thunderstorm. They are trying to get to Pinecrest Lodge, but find an old gate, which has a sign hanging over it reading Moody Manor. Velma gets out and pushes the gate down. The gang heads to the old mansion and asks for directions. The Mystery Machine stops because a tree has fallen about halfway up the drive, and the gang is forced to walk. They don't realize that Don Knotts, disguised as an elderly lumberjack, is following them. He hides behind things and cackles, then he sneezes, and his facial hair and wig fall off, revealing Don Knotts. He quickly puts everything back on and follows the gang. Scooby happens to look behind and sees Don Knotts sneezing again with the same effect. Scooby then tries to convince the gang, but Don Knotts is gone. And then Don Knotts is in a changing room and switches to his bubble outfit when the gang goes inside the mansion. And then he comes out of the panel in the wall and mistakes them for coming to see Captain Moody. Featherstone, who is his butler disguise, reveals that Captain Moody is not there, but Featherstone rushes to get off the captain's good friend, Phineas. They proceed to try and find a secret exit. Don Knotts changes into a Phineas costume. Scooby hits a secret lever in a room, and a bookshelf opens to reveal a secret passage. Okay then, I guess we're going for it. Yeah, they just immediately, not even checking ID or anything, just like, you must be his nieces and nephews. So Phineas, is he gonna just turn into a maid? Yeah, because he's the one that's doing the same costumes. And then just a quick little pause, I guess it is Don Knotts, because he's constantly changing into different outfits, like the maid and Phineas, pirate kind of guy. They went into their rooms after breakfast. I forgot to turn on my screen, so no footage. But went into their rooms after breakfast. We still haven't really met the bad guy yet. The lights go out from a storm, and the thunder gets worse and much louder. So Shaggy and Scooby decide to go look for some food since they were scared that it was poison, so they didn't eat anything. And then a living suit of armor also confuses Scooby. Eventually they run into each other, and Velma and Daphne race back to their rooms. Shaggy and Scooby make large sandwiches. They get scared by Don Knott, disguised as Captain Moody's ghost, and run back to their room. Okay, here we go. Now we get another weird food episode.
First story, cheese. Second story, and now for the attic. Everything goes in the attic. Salt, pepper, mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, pickles. A banana. Hey, that's a swell roof, Scoob.
There's the ghost of Captain Moody while they were eating their sandwich. So I ended up getting it as a club sandwich, which I'm not going to make the giant whole thing because that's just insane. Which is bread, peanut butter, ham, sharp cheddar, jam, and then salt, pepper, mustard, ketchup, pickles, and a banana on top.
Did you get your snacks? No, we saw the ghost. Whose ghost? I don't know. Nobody. A ghost can't be nobody. It has to be the ghost of somebody. Like it didn't have any face, just pale yellow all over. Moaning and groaning. Shaggy, most people have nightmares after eating too much. You even get them before eating too much. There it is again. Don't run. Stand up to it.
Pretty good directions though, and Fred's also ran him over. Also, it keeps switching into Don Knotts as the ghost in an actual ghost.
The guilty one must die.
That's kind of funny though. They're doing what the current iteration of Scooby-Doo is, where all the doors are really connected and keeps switching between like the Captain Moody disguise and just all connected together. It's one of the more famous Scooby-Doo moments with the doors and everything.
No real ghost wears a real wig.
You're right, Velma. And now that I think of it, that ghost reminds me a lot of Phineas.
And Phineas reminds me of the butler. And the butler reminds me of
Yeah, now they're putting together, with how much they have unmasked people, there's no way they wouldn't know easily about disguise and stuff. This isn't like a Superman thing where you on your glasses and everything. So now he's all startled, so now he's gonna put on the wrong costume.
You rang, sir?
We wanted the maid.
Oh, puts on both costumes.
You're not the maid or the butler.
All right, the little game is over.
What?
Everybody back, freeze. We're gonna blow this case wide open.
What case? What's going on?
Playing innocent, huh? Well, it won't work. I've had my eye on you ever since you got here. You can't escape, and I'm holding all of you till I get a confession.
Oh, so he really does think
World famous private eye.
wow, a detective.
now he's faking that he's a detective.
Pipsqueak, they call me today.
Homer Pipsqueak, so like a Sherlock Holmes disguise.
And there wasn't any ghost. It was you.
All the people you met here tonight were me. Incredible master of 1,000 disguises. I speak every known language.
We are not Captain Moody's nieces and nephews. Honest.
Don't say that. You'll explode my whole brilliant theory. I'll have to push the old mental button and switch to Operation Backup.
How does that work?
I back up and start all over again. Take sheer raw nerve.
While you're backing up, can we please go ahead and leave?
Nobody leaves till I solve the mystery. All right, come on, kids, cop out. You really are the captain's nieces and nephews, aren't you?
No, we're not. Now just take us to Captain Moody. He'll tell you.
I can't. That's the mystery. The captain's gone. Disappeared, vanished into thin air, and I gotta find him.
Why don't we join Freddy and Shaggy at the old mine?
Because we promised to help.
There's nothing here. Nothing I want to meet, anyway.
Yo! Yikes! Why am I worried? It's only Mr. Pipsqueak in disguise again.
It's not going to be this time though.
Hey, you want me to go back to the house? Why are you making like that ghost again? Well, anyway, I'm glad you showed up. It's spooky out here alone. Oh, hi, Mr. Pipsqueak. I'll be right back as soon as I walk back to the house with you and yo!
Baffling case. Something sinister at work here. Doesn't add up.
Like there can't be two ghosts of Captain Moody. And those ghosts were driving on the mine.
There's something there they don't want us to find.
And Scooby was following the captain's trail to the mine.
That's the answer. Let's all get back there before the ghosts do.
I need 2 volunteers to go out on the trestle and trick the ghosts. Do I see any hands? Oh, come on, squad. Let's see some hands.
Okay, Scoob, like you gotta be a hero.
That's great. You'll never live to regret this.
Oh.
Another ghost!
That's the real Captain Moody.
We've got to get him out of there, quick!
Here come the ghosts.
Caught them pretty easily.
My keen powers of deduction were correct as always. These 2 nephews showed up early and tried to do
Yep, Moody nephews.
But you showed up before the rascals could finish the job. And like we showed up to really confuse things. No, matey. You were a lighthouse to a ship in distress.
And it looks like he did get the disguise right pretty quickly.
Aye, but where those 2 are going, they won't be having any banquets.
I kind of think this squad could fill in nicely for them.
Aye, that's a roaring fine idea. All hands to the mess hall and we'll feast.
Okay, that was quick. Now they're just eating
Fool for 1 minute.
after arresting his nephews.
Shaggy's face.
You'd think he'd seen a ghost.
What did you think of my maid and butler disguises? Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
I got a million of them. Remind me to show you some more sometime.
Oh,
They're eating the same kind of sandwiches earlier.
I'm the one who's grateful, matey. And I wish you wouldn't haul anchor just yet.
We really have to go. If you could just tell us how to get to the Pinecrest Lodge.
I wouldn't know, miss. I haven't been off this place since I retired from the sea over 20 years ago. Maybe the world's greatest private eye can tell us.
Pinecrest Lodge? Never heard of it. My motto is, if it hasn't had a crime there, I haven't been there. It's kind of a little zinger I throw in now and then.
Wow! Like you mean after all this, we're still lost?
You'll never be lost. You've got the smartest, most natural-born sleuth here I ever ran across in my long and brilliant career.
He was just training him not to be a bloodhound, but not really how to be a mystery guy or anything like that.
Old Scooby Sleuth.
The ghost turns out to be the captain's nephews who arrived a day early. Characters we've never seen before. Don Knott was kind of just all over the place this episode, switching around the disguises. I didn't think was very funny. It just kind of basic. I didn't really like this episode as much as I could have. I think I'm going to rate this one probably a 4 out of 10. Another kind of slog episode. I feel like that it'd be a good middle ground if these episodes were The regular Scooby-Doo is 22 minutes long, which feels like it's really not a lot for the gang to kind of come together and have different character development moments or anything like that. But they also don't focus on the character development. So people that are saying, 22 minutes is not enough, 43 minutes is not enough either, because they don't actually go through any of that part. They just focus on the gag and just artificially fluff it out. So if they wanted to actually focus on making it condensed down, like how they do it in like Mystery Incorporated and stuff like that, then make it, like 25 minutes long or something similar to bring everybody together. 25 to 30 minutes would be a perfect amount where they don't have to focus on the gags, but they still are in the time frame, focusing more on the characters and what they're all about. So that's just how I feel about this episode, which is why I rated it a 4 out of 10. It wasn't really that funny for me, and changing a bunch of different costumes we've seen many times before in a bunch of different other shows, kind of a basic thing, and bad guys over guys we've never seen before, which I always rate poorly because they never show us. They give us some inkling that it is his nieces and nephews, but the nieces didn't show up. It was just the two nephews. So that was just kind of a basic, boring kind of And then they say, like, wherever you're going, you won't see anything. There was no sheriff at the end, job well done, or anything like that. They just kind of went to a banquet, and so there's nothing really that happened with the nephews. A 40-minute nothing episode for me, which is why I'm rating it a 4 out of 10. I'll actually give this episode a 3 out of 10. I think it had more interesting moments compared to Ghastly Ghost Town, but still kind of a nothing episode that I didn't really care for. So 3 out of 10, I think, is a good score for this one. My second to least favorite episode. Hopefully it'll get better as I react to more, but we'll see. You never know. But I think that's going to do it from me for this Scooby-Doo reaction. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.